Our MC Mujin fights the squad leader, Cheolboin, and he's playing with him like a kid, even dodging an attack in midair. This pisses Cheolboin off, and he demands that our MC fight him like a man. Mujin then drops down, picks up his 100-kilo sword like it's nothing. As they both lunge at each other, Mujin quickly pulls his sword back and strikes Cheolboin's blade so hard that it knocks his sword back. Taking this chance, he punches Cheolboin in the face so hard he almost flattens his nose and sends him crashing to the ground. The others are shocked because he was never this strong before. To understand why our MC can do this to a squad leader, let's go back to the beginning. Our MC, known as the Divine Demon, is a powerful swordsman who finds himself going up against 9 powerful sect leaders in a quest for vengeance. His amazing and terrifying sword skills allow him to match up to the sect leaders. He cuts them down with so much precision that they are all confused as to how he is doing it. Before they know it, they find themselves getting cut off one by one, leaving them to conclude that our MC is nothing but a monster. Even when those who were still standing managed to pin him down and push a sword through his heart, he pulled through and sent them all to the afterlife, ultimately stamping his name as the Divine Demon. Just when he is about to die, his life flashes before his very eyes, and he feels the sense of relief of having fulfilled his mission. Our MC remembers when he was getting jumped by 3 kids, since he was a troublemaker in the Murim. He was ultimately saved by his master, who trained him. But in the end, he lived by the sword, killing people left and right. He wonders if life is all about what he did, and in that moment, he remembers his late wife. The best moments of his life were the ones he spent with his wife, but they were later taken away from him. In tears, he wonders what the meaning of his life really is, and in the end, he closes his eyes in death. Suddenly he hears ranting all around him, and he assumes that he is in hell until he opens his eyes to see some annoying group standing in front of him and trash-talking him. Our MC is totally confused as he doesn't understand a thing about what is happening. Standing beside him are 2 kids, and the male child is defending his elder brother, saying they can't hand over the clan's martial arts when his brother is still alive. He mentions that no matter what happens, the martial arts must remain in their clan, the Flame Hua clan. While our MC is still questioning what is happening, the opposition leader suggests that they make a deal to remove all of their worries. He calls our MC, Hua Mujin, and tells him that he is ready to offer money since his clan is utterly poor. In return, Mujin will wager his clan's martial arts, but they are going to duel for it. The winner of the duel then takes everything. The little boy is shocked when he hears this, since his elder brother, our MC, is totally useless when it comes to martial arts. Our MC is tired of all the noise, and he is forced to ask the group who the hell is Mujin when he knows that he is entirely someone else. His so-called younger ones are left confused when he says this, and they stare at him like some kind of madman. Even his rival is forced to ask him what he said, and he reveals that he is known as the Divine Demon, but this only cracks him up, and he suggests that Mujin call him the King of the Underworld instead. Apparently, his annoying rival is Cheong Dobo, and he is the second son of the Cheonghua merchant group. Mujin's siblings are pissed that his madness is already getting out of hand, which is why he is saying trash. Even the master of the Cheonghua merchant group, Bu Choyon, makes fun of the clan, saying their clan is already done for, since the eldest son is in a bad mental state. Mujin remains silent as he tries to understand what is really happening. Since he is not saying anything, Dobo assumes that he has accepted the duel, and he informs him that the duel will be held at the Byung Pavilion next month. Dobo reminds Mujin that they made the deal under the martial arts code, and he is not allowed to break it because there will be consequences for it. After the group is gone, Mujin's supposed siblings turn to him, asking him what he plans to do since they have forced a duel on him. What makes it worse is that Mujin has not even swung a sword before. Mujin laughs out loud when he hears this, since he knows that swordsmanship is everything that he lives and breathes. He tries to aura farm by accessing his inner energy, but he suddenly realizes that it is gone, like totally gone with no ounce of it left. Frustration sets in when he also realizes that his body is very frail and weak. His sister bursts into tears, begging Mujin to come to his freaking senses. The little girl tells Mujin that he is trash, and he also calls him a fool for getting walked on by the merchant group. Her brother scolds her for trash-talking their brother and suggests that she apologize, but she refuses. She blames Mujin for their parents' deaths, and she runs off in tears after saying this. The little boy apologizes on his sister's behalf, saying she sometimes loses herself in anger, and after saying this, he also leaves. Mujin is utterly confused because he can't believe that even children now hate his guts and they call him a madman. Mujin is confused, and he knows that the last thing he remembers is cutting through the sect leaders without mercy. Mujin believes that he should have died peacefully, but he has suddenly found himself in a strange body. He crashes to the ground in frustration, wondering who the kids are. Just then, a weird dude, who happens to be his assistant, comes running over to him, asking him why he went outside with his frail body. He claims that he has been worried about him, but Mujin simply asks him who he is because he obviously doesn't know him. The dude, Ma-seok, is surprised to hear this, and he assumes that Mujin is suffering from another seizure due to the madness affecting him. Since he believes that Mujin is truly suffering from amnesia, he decides to tell him his backstory. Apparently, Hua Mujin was once a talented and reputable kid whom several orthodox sects wanted as their disciple, and by age 23, he had become the clan's leader. Seok is tired of telling Mujin the story because he has repeated it over 6,000 times. Mujin doesn't think he was a promising kid because his energy core is obviously shit. In addition, he wants to know about the madness that everyone is talking about. Seok then decides to tell him about this too. 17 years ago, Mujin and Dobo had an unofficial duel, where they promised no inner energy. Mujin was 6 years old and Dobo was 9 years old at the time of the duel. Dobo agreed to this, and the fight between the two kids started. But as the fight progressed, Dobo broke their deal and struck Mujin with a punch imbued with inner energy. Mujin is disappointed at this, and he asks Dobo why he used the 7-wound fist techniques when they clearly promised not to do anything outside of throwing fists. Dobo makes fun of Mujin, telling him that the technique was passed down through the Kongdong sect and apparently the after effects are no joke. Apparently, Dobo had tested it out on his older brother who was acting all cocky and the technique left him bedridden. Since he was glad about how it turned out, Dobo was excited to see how it would turn out against Mujin. Basically, Mujin is now called a madman because they believe his condition is a result of the after effect of the 7-wound fist strike. Mujin is pissed that Dobo was the one who made him useless, but he is suddenly requesting a duel. Mujin then asks Seok how they handled Dobo after he rendered him useless. Seok then mentions that Mujin's father was the one who later gave the final verdict. Although Dobo was his cousin, he was also the son of the Cheonghua merchant group, considered to be one of the top 10 within the Central Plains. Even though Dobo did something terrible, Mujin's father only let him off with a warning. Mujin cannot believe just how useless the man is to have forgiven someone who rendered his son useless. Mujin concludes that the clan is total trash, and then he asks Seok where his parents are. Seok mentions that Mujin's condition progressively got worse, which led his father into debt because he was looking for ways to cure his illness. 9 years ago, his mother's sickness actually got really worse, and she passed away from it. 3 years later, his father joined his mother in the afterlife. Mujin basically became the son who killed his parents and ruined the clan. Because of this, the clan's reputation actually got trashed, and his siblings found themselves in a tight spot. All that is left of the family are debts and 2 loyal retainers and just a few martial artists. He also has his younger brother, Hua Dojin, and his sister, Hua Soyeon. Mujin finally realizes why his sister, Soyeon, said he is to blame for what happened to their parents. That night, Mujin went through the history books left behind by the original owner of the body, and he learned a few things from them. He realized that 30 years had passed since he defeated the 9 sects, and he now inhabits the body of a madman with no energy core. Since our MC carries no regret from his past life, he decides to live according to the Mujin and help out the helpless kids. However, he knows that the Cheonghua merchant group is going to be a big problem for him. They were basically the ones who rendered the body useless and also destroyed the clan. The first thing on his list is to plan for the duel he has against Dobo, which is the following month. Since the body is trash, he figures out that he has to rebuild his body from the beginning. He sits down to meditate and starts everything all over again like a beginner. He remembers that back in his old life, the first time he wanted to try cultivation, it was hard for him. However, things seem to be going smoothly with the current body thanks to the body's overwhelming innate martial aptitude. Mujin taps into the body's insane energy and tries to explore it to the max, leaving a golden light shining across his room. Momentarily, Seok and the retainers hear his scream and struggle from where they are, causing them to rush into his room. They find him on the floor, and one of the retainers jokingly says he is dead. He checks Mujin's pulse and realizes that it is stronger than before, but Mujin suddenly grabs him, asking him why his body is suffering from immeasurable pain just because he tried to form an energy core. The retainer is confused by this, and Mujin repeats himself, saying he wants to know if his body has some special constitution. The retainer then reveals his constitution is the heavenly martial body. Apparently, it is a rare heroic constitution, which is chosen by the heavens. Mujin gets hit with another wave of pain, and he finally figures out that the body's constitution is exactly the opposite of the demonic arts. Basically, a body of pure, upright energy will suffer intense pain when it tries to practice demonic arts. Mujin screams in pain, wondering why he got a body cursed with a very different constitution out of all the constitutions available. He concludes that things are really bad for him because the duel is just in a month. As he lies down in pain, he asks Seok who the 2 men are. Seok reveals that the man in green is the chief steward, Do Baekshun, and the man in red is an elder, Jo Hwanbong. The moment he hears the name Joe, he remembers something from his past life, but the pain he is feeling is too much, and he ends up passing out. 3 days later, Mujin finally gets up from where he has been lying down, but Sok is worried that he is not taking enough rest. Mujin mentions that he is tired of lying down since he has a duel coming up, and he urges Sok to get him swords. Sok manages to keep himself from laughing when he hears this because the clan is still trying to get what to eat, and Mujin is asking for swords. Mujin is forced to ask if there is no money in the family, and Sok mentions that they are currently taking out loans from an unorthodox sect named the Bangho sect. Because the sect operates on a very high interest rate, they have found themselves in a whole lot of debt. It finally dawns on Mujin that to help the clan, he needs to resolve the money issue first. Nonetheless, Mujin doesn't think taking out more loans is going to hurt, since they are already drowning in debt. Sok is worried about this, but Mujin tells him to shut his mouth and write a letter to the 2 elders because he is going out on a walk. When the elders heard of this, they got worried about the fact that Mujin had made his way to the dangerous Bangho sect. Momentarily, Mujin and Sok arrive at the entrance of the Bangho sect. Mujin tells the big bodyguard to inform his boss that he would like to see him. The dude, Kang Noho, is not out to play games, and he tells Mujin to get himself into the building if he is there to gamble. Mujin insists that Kang take him to his boss, but this starts to piss Kang off. Sok quickly cuts in, urging Kang to calm down because Mujin is not right in the head. The tension between the two continues to rise until the vice master, Ma Jungbo of the sect, shows up, demanding to know what the issue is. Kang then tells his boss that Mujin is trying to meet their top boss. Ma asks him why he would like to meet their boss, and Mujin says he would want more loans. Ma then tells Mujin that he doesn't need to see the leader to get a loan, and he invites him into the building. Mujin and Sok soon find themselves going deeper into the manor using a wooden bridge, while they are being escorted by armed swordsmen. Sok is worried about the whole thing, and he tells Mujin that they still have the chance to go back before it is too late. Mujin disagrees with him, saying they have made it a long way already. Sok then tells him that there was a particular granny who saw the leader of the sect fighting, and it turns out that the leader is quite powerful because he overwhelmed his opponent in seconds. Apparently, the leader is a martial artist who has learned a powerful killing technique. Mujin is questioning Sok's reason for telling him this when Ma cuts in, saying Sok is more knowledgeable because he caught on pretty quickly. However, it is already too late for them because they have reached a deeper part of the cave, and before the two know it, they find themselves surrounded by armed swordsmen. Mujin is disappointed, and he asks Ma if this was his plan from the onset. Ma confirms this and says he intentionally led him in because he obviously cannot touch him in public. However, he's not ready to give him a free hand the same way he gave his parents. Sok is not arguing with the group, but he begs them to let his master live. Mujin, on the other hand, is pissed when Ma mentions his parents because he obviously has no parents until it suddenly dawns on him that he is now in another body. Since everything is ready, Ma orders his men to teach Mujin a lesson. One of them, who is very eager to carry out the order, goes after Mujin and throws a punch at him. Sok almost faints in fear when he sees the punch coming straight toward them. Surprisingly, Mujin blocks the dude's punch, ultimately shattering his bones from the inside. The dude screams in pain and crashes to the ground while claiming that Mujin used some sort of cheap tricks on him. Mujin teases him, saying he actually has soft bones compared to his size. Mujin figures out that he has to do things without the use of his pure power. Ma is pissed that his men are wasting time, and he orders them to finish Mujin off. One of the swordsmen charges straight at him with his sword, but Mujin easily dodges the strike and figures out that he has to keep moving since he can't match the dude's power. Using his flexible body, he is able to dodge and deliver a headbutt that crushes the dude's face. The dude falls back, screaming in pain, while his colleague takes over from him and tries to slash Mujin, but Mujin dodges the strike. The attacker tries another strike, but Mujin jumps backward before delivering a kick to knock the dude out of commission. Before the armed men know what is happening, they find themselves getting toyed with, and in no time, they crash to the ground on their knees. Standing in the distance, Sok cries out to make sure that his master is safe, but Mujin calls him a dull head while mentioning that he is fine. Sok is utterly blown away, forcing him to ask Mujin where he learned the martial arts skills that he is using. Mujin then tells the dude that what he is witnessing is not martial arts but something he picked up on the streets. Sok is shocked to hear this since he doesn't remember Mujin spending time on the streets. Ma commends him for successfully dispatching his men, but immediately launches his coin at Mujin with a powerful force behind it. The coin narrowly misses Mujin's head, but he can feel the pressure from the coin, shocking him. Ma then angrily tells his men to leave because he will take care of Mujin himself. Mujin is surprised that he is facing so much hostility when all he wants to do is talk to their boss. Ma angrily replies that his boss is not someone that a trash fellow like Mujin can meet. Ma angrily whips out his sword and lunges toward Mujin, ready to take him down. In a surprising turn of events, Mujin blocks his power strike with a pair of chopsticks. Ma is shocked when he sees this, but little does he know that this is all Mujin could get, since he has no money for a sword. Mujin and Ma continue to exchange blows, but Mujin stands his ground with some excellent martial arts. Before Ma knows it, he finds his hand impaled with one of the chopsticks. Ma cannot believe that Mujin was able to find an opening even though he was trying his best to cut him down. While Ma is struggling, Mujin is busy having fun, while telling Ma that he might just regret himself if he decides to underrate chopsticks. Before Ma knows it, he finds himself struggling against chopsticks, leaving him surprised because he believed that Mujin was just a weakling who could not use chi. Ma is left to wonder how Mujin is able to reach such a terrifying state in a short space of time, but he doesn't want to believe that Mujin is the same person that he knows. Mujin continues puncturing his body with the chopsticks while telling him that he has such terrible skills. Ma refuses to lose to a pair of chopsticks and he leaps into the air while aiming to finish Mujin off with his ultimate move. With how threatening he looks in the air, Mujin doesn't look scared one bit. He easily dodges Ma's attack, leaving him completely open. Ma is left to question why Mujin will have such a hidden power without him knowing. Mujin delivers a powerful punch to his body that fully destroys whatever pride he has left. With fear now reeking through Ma's body, Mujin repeats himself, saying all he wants is alone, but this time, he says it with a very deadly and terrifying face. Momentarily, Ma finally decides to sit down with Mujin after getting a thorough beating. His guards also find themselves bowing to Mujin while Ma talks with him. Ma then asks Mujin to tell him what he wants to know. Mujin asks Ma why his sect is lending a loan to his family without collateral, because he can sense malicious intent with the entire deal. Ma claims that they have no malicious intent, and Mujin is just overthinking things. Mujin doesn't believe this one bit because he can sense Ma's fear from where he is sitting. Mujin then decides to ask him again, but this time he urges him to think carefully if he doesn't want to be punished. Realizing that Mujin is not playing around, Ma finally reveals that they got their orders from the Cheonghua merchant group. Mujin is not surprised to hear this because he knows that the group was involved in some way. He then asks Ma what sort of deal it is that they made with the Cheonghua group. Ma is hesitant to speak, but Mujin quickly lets him know that if he dies defending the merchant group, he won't be missed. Ma takes some wisdom from what Mujin said and reveals that the merchant group ordered them to lend Mujin's clan whatever amount of money they want, but at a crazy high interest. In exchange for making the Hua clan fall, the Bangho sect will get the Hua lands after they are kicked off the chessboard. It finally dawns on Mujin that the family land was the collateral all along. Mujin then asks Ma how much 300 gold coins that he wants to borrow will amount to in a year. According to the contract, Ma reveals that the 300 gold coins would have amounted to 5,000 gold coins in repayment.